So now today we are going to discuss new module called Node.js. So what is the use of Node.js and why you are using Node.js? We are going to discuss step by step. So by using Node.js, we can build a complete backend operations. So nothing but if you are considering any application also, we have the partitions, right? So we have the front end, we have the backend, right? So now up to now we discuss completely like a front end only, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap along with React.js. Up to now we did the complete front end only. So I want to do the backend functionality also. So that's why I'm using here Node.js. Actually, Node.js is a not separate programming language. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. It is a runtime environment. Nothing but if you want to run some JavaScript file, you can use a Node.js software, right? So this is not a separate programming language. So we have to use the Node.js to build the backend functionalities here. So for example, I have here Node.js. By using Node.js, we are going to do a backend calls. So whenever if you are doing any backend programming language, we have to interact with the database. So here what we are going to do. So just we have to go to the SQL database as well as NoSQL database or non-SQL databases. So what is the difference between SQL and NoSQL? We'll discuss in the future. So SQL is nothing but one structure is there. So SQL stands for structure query language. We have to follow some structure. For example, if you are considering any table also, for example, student table, what we are going to do, student ID is there and student name is there and phone number is there and email ID is there and address is there. So for every student also, we have to follow same sequence only, same structure only. So that's why we can call it as a structure query language. So, but for small applications, that structure query language is enough. Nothing but example we can take here MySQL. So that is for small projects, you can just go through the SQL and you can implement that one. What about large scale applications? At the time, you can use the NoSQL database or non-SQL databases. So simply we can go to the MongoDB. You can just use the MongoDB so to build the large scale applications. So why? Because we have to follow, there is no problem to maintain the difficulties here. That means, so no need to follow any structure here. Previously, we have to follow the complete structure. Now here, no need to follow any structure also, just we can implement the NoSQL database. So how we are going to work with that everything, I will show you in future classes. Just here, we have to focus on the NoSQL database only. Coming to again Node.js. So Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment, right? So by using JavaScript, we can do completely front-end thing. So just you can use the JavaScript as well as React.js to build the complete view layer. Automatically, we have here complete view layer. What about backend? So generally in the backend languages, we can use the PHP language or Python language or .NET or Java language we are using. But so before introducing this Node.js, they are thinking through the JS file. So through the JS, how we are going to build the backend. So is it possible to build the backend or not? They are going to thinking, and after thinking only they introduce the Node.js. Through the Node.js, we can build the complete backend also. That means we can use the JS to build the front end as well as backend also. Previously, what happened? So we are doing only front end only. For the backend, we can use a separate programming languages like a PHP or Python, like that we are using. But here, what we are going to do? Completely we have to follow the Node.js to build the front end as well as back end. Nothing but a JS again we have to follow. By using JS, we can do the front end, nothing but you can use a React.js to build the front end perfectly. And in the back end, we are using Node.js software to build the completely back end compatibilities here. So what is the advantage of Node.js? So by using Node.js, so simply it is like a defaultly asynchronous. What is meant by asynchronous? So every time if you are giving some request, so that request will take and will get the response now. So for example, if you are taking another backend programming languages, one by one, it will take first request, you will get the response, then only it will take the second request. Again, you will get the response. Like that, we have some sequence. So before introducing this Node.js, if you are using other programming languages, so that is like a non-synchronous we have here. So every time we are going to give the request, we will get the response. After that only again you can pass the new request. So but this is a synchronous, so we have to follow here simply step by step, like whatever the request we want. So you can just forward all the requests, you will get the one by one response. So that means here the website performance is automatically increased here Why automatically the website performance is increased in the sense no need to wait. Okay, why? Because if you are giving like some request, I am giving some request, some other person also they are going to give some request, like a number of people at a time they are going to give some request, will get automatically response without waiting time. So we'll get the continuously. So that's why by using Node.js we can increase the site performance. That is the main advantage of the Node.js, and this is like an open source only and a cross browser platform. Nothing but anyways also it will works. So and it is like a free of cost only. So like regular features. So it is a free to use this one, and at the same time you can go to the editor and you can implement the entire logics also. I will show you step by step implementation. So this is the small introduction of the JS, Node.js. Okay. So what is a Node.js? Node.js is a asynchronous programming. So that means whatever you are sending the request, we will get the response. No need to do any waiting time. So we'll get the responses continuously. How many requests you given? That is the first point you have to remember. And by using Node.js, here we are going to do the backend functionalities. Nothing but here I want to interact with the database like the MongoDB NoSQL database. I have to interact. Then I'm going to fetch the records. I'm going to insert the data. I'm going to retrieve the data. So in the React also we did the crowd operations, right? So we did the crowd operations, but there we are using the one API like a fake API or JSON API. We are not going to use any Postman. Actually, here we have to use the tool called Postman. So in the Postman, I have to send some APIs also, API calls also. I will show you there. So the main motto of Node.js is so we have to build the APIs. What is meant by API? API is nothing but application programming interface. So nothing but we have to maintain so entire information in one API. You can fetch the data, you can so read the data, you can insert the data, you can delete the data, you can update the data. Nothing but we can perform the crowd operations. So before introducing this API concept, how we have, for example, now I'm going to take here. So previously we don't have mobile apps. Now we have the mobile app everything. So in olden days, how it will be? So we have here desktop. For the desktop, they are going to maintain separate database to do the all operations, crowd operations. So and at the same time for mobile app also, so they introduce, and for mobile app also we have to maintain separate DB here. So nothing but two databases we have to maintain here. So why? Because for the web application, nothing but for the device friendly like a desktop or laptop. So we are going to maintain separate database here. And for the mobile also, we are going to maintain separate database. So if you are observing here, we are facing the issues. So we are maintaining two different databases here, and we are performing two different operations here. So if you are opening any website in the mobile app or desktop also, you will get the same functionalities only, right? So we are not getting any different kind of things. So here, whatever the features we have, same features only here also available. So why you are using two databases here? So that is a drawback. To avoid that drawback, they introduce the API. So if you have the desktop, if you have the tab, or if you have the mobile app also, what you are going to do? You have to build some API. So this API only you have to use for this one, and for this one also, and for this one also. What happened? No need to do separate databases. We have to build one API. Through this API, you can do the establish the connection for the all type of devices also. So that's why here they introduce a Node.js to build the backend API. So if you want to do the chart applications, if you want to build the APIs, REST APIs, so just you can go to the Node.js. By using Node.js, we can build the backend calls. Nothing but we are going to interact with the database. So with the interaction of the database, we can go to the crowd operations. So always I'm going to build some API. Through that API only, I want to perform the all kind of operations with different kinds of devices. Nothing but if you are using the web or you can use the mobile app also. I want to do the device friendly here. That is the main advantage of the Node.js here. Clear, right? So this is the small introduction of the Node.js. By using Node.js, we can build the APIs and at the same time chart type of application. We have the charts, right? So if you want to build the chart type of applications also, you can use the Node.js. So here you will get the request and the responses. There is no queue format here. So previously what happened in the sense, if you are doing some request, you will get the response. Again, you have to give the request, you will get the response. So here, no need to do that one. You can send at a time like 100 requests also. You'll get the responses one by one, no problem. No need to wait anything. So that is the main advantage and main feature of the Node.js. Clear, right? So now I want to work with a Node.js. What you are going to do? So simply, I'm going to open here command prompt. So in the command prompt, first what you are going to do? So we have to check the Node version. Node is installed or not. Already we had a discussion in the React also. Node already we installed now. So now I'm going to do here Node-v. So already we have here Node version. So in case if you don't have Node version, what you are getting? Node is not recognized. Internal and external commands it is showing. At the time, what you are going to do? You can just go to here. So Node.js download. So now I want to do here Node.js download. If you are moved to here, so we have here LTS and current version. So you can take anything also fine. So depends upon your OS, you can select. So now see here 16.15, which includes the NPM 8.5.5, and go to the current version 18.1.0, which includes 8.8. You can just download the depends upon your OS and you can install it. So by default, if I click on this one, automatically one MSI file Microsoft installer will get. So through the Microsoft installer, we have to run that one. We can install that one. Once installation is done, we have to check this one. We'll get that one. Now I'm going to do here node space. So just I'm going to enter node enter. Directly I'm using here. I'm going to open my node directly in the command prompt. I want to perform some operations here. For example, I want to do addition 9 plus 9. So automatically you will get the output here. So for example, I'm going to do here a equal to 10. So now the value is printing. Now I'm going to do here b equal to 20. A and b is there. Now I'm doing here a plus b. Now we are getting the operations. Understood now. So I'm not going to take separately here. What we are going to do? So we have to take here. Sorry, clear now. We have to do here clear. Now just I'm going to take here one new command prompt here. So just what we are going to do, node space enter. We have to enter here, node enter. So what are the commands you require? You can enter. For example, now I want to perform some multiplication 2 into 3. Automatically you will get the output here. So that means a direct operations you can perform. For example, I want to do here alert function. I'm going to execute alert off. So I'm going to do here welcome. If I'm doing this one, whether it will execute or not, we'll check. Now what happened here? So it is showing uncaught reference error. Why? Because so this type of alerts are prompt and confirmation dialog boxes. It will execute in the browser end only. If you are doing here basic calculations, we can perform. If you want to declare the function, you can declare and you can call the function. If you want to do the operators like arithmetic or comparison, anything is fine. You can do here. But what happened if you are doing like alert prompt, that type of things, it won't execute here. So you can execute the Node.js through the command prompt also. What you are going to do, just you have to enter node, just you can enter, press enter, automatically you will get here. So at the node and whatever you require, you can enter. For example, I'm doing here dot help. If I'm doing here help, so we are getting here. So all the things, if you want to clear, if you want to break, if you want to exit, so it is showing here all the commands. Just you can go through these commands and you can implement. If you want to clear the screen, you can use so clear, automatically it will be clear. So you can break. So if you want to break, if you want to exit also from the Node.js, you can exit, no problem. So these are the predefined commands we have here available in our thing. So if you want to execute, you can execute, no problem. This is through the command prompt, you can execute the Node.js. But if you want to perform full-fledged functionalities, here that is very difficult, right? So to avoid that situation, we can follow the editor. So in the editor only, we are going to write all the operations. Clear? So just what we are doing, I'm installing the Node.js. After that, I'm checking the version. Directly, I'm going to run the files through the command prompt. Nothing but through this one only. Node we have to use. Through this one, we can do some of the operations here. My target is I don't want to print here. So for example, a equal to now see here, I'm doing here a equal to, I'm going to write here welcome. So here, if I'm printing that a, we are getting here welcome. That string we are getting. So my target is I want to print this one in the browser screen. So I don't want to print in the command prompt. What we are going to do. So to avoid this situation, so under the same time, I want to write some complicated programming also So how we are going to work with that? We have to use some editor. Through the editor, you can run, right? So now just you can go to the VS Code download. Okay, VS Code editor download. Just to go to the Visual Studio download, and you can select any version also. Like it depends upon your OS. You can select that one and you can install it. So already I have that one. So I'm not going to install again. So after downloading, what you are going to do? Double click, next, finish. Already I showed this one also in the React, right? So now I want to execute here. So my own files here, new files. What you are going to do? First, I have to create one folder. I'm going to do here Node.js practice. So in April, I created one folder here. Go to here, add folder to workspace. What is our folder? Node practice now. So you can go to here, Node.js practice. So just you can add that folder here. Now we have everything is fine. Now what you are going to do? So I have to take here terminal. So for that our new page, I'm going to take here terminal. I'm going to take one new file also. So index.js. Just I'm going to write some basic JavaScript programming. So whether it is working or not, I have to check what you are going to do. For example, where a equal to some addition programming, I'm going to write where b equal to 30, then where c equal to a plus b. Then I want to do here log. So what you are going to do? So console.log, we have to use here c value. Okay, save this one. How we are going to run that file? Node space your file name. What is our file name? Index. Now we have here the output. So successfully we got here the output in the console area. But my target is I want to execute something in the browser. So at the time, what you are going to do? If I'm giving some request, we'll get the response now. Now we can observe here. I'm going to open here Google. So whenever if you are entering the google.com and enter and giving the request, we'll get the response as a website. Here we are getting some response now. So whenever if you are work with the browser, we have to go to the HTTP module. So whenever if you are working with the browser, we have to import the HTTP module. By default, that module in the Node.js we have. So now I'm going to take here where HTTP equal to, we can import that one by using require method. Require, we have to go to the HTTP method. So now the method is imported here. So after that, what we are going to do? So for this one, I want to create some server. Create server, we can follow. So here, some callback function. So always in this callback function, we have here two parameters. One is the request and response. Now what we are going to do? So now I want to pass some request. So if I'm passing the request, we will get the response. Now in this case, I'm not passing any request. I want only the response that is in the browser screen. I want to show something, right? So what we are going to do? Response dot. If you want to print anything, you can use the write function. What you are going to print? Welcome, I want to print. So this one, that is fine. Then what you are going to do? I want to run this entire thing in the port number. If you are running any project also here, we have to go to the port numbers, right? So in the React, what is the port number? 3000 we have. By default, we are getting. But here we have to create your manually only. So you can give any port number also. For example, I am giving here listen 4000. 4000 is my port number. So now just you can observe, I am checking here node space file name. So it is showing you have to go to that browser and you can enter localhost 4000. Now I'm going to enter here localhost colon 4000. If I'm entering here localhost colon 4000, it is loading. Once loading is done, we will get that one. We have to wait. Nothing. Directly you can import which module you want and you can take that one automatically. See here. So first what you are going to do, you have to go to the installation. So once installation is done, so just you can go to the directly node also. Node you can go to and you can do the whatever you require. Otherwise, what you are going to do, just to go to the programming and you can take the first HTTP request, then you can pass the response. Now we can observe here, we have to use here. So whatever you required here. So for example, I want to print this welcome. So what you are going to do, first we have to import the HTTP. Why you are importing the HTTP? Why? Because I want to run this file in the browser screen. Why it is still loading? Okay, we have to wait until unless the web file is loaded. So HTTP require HTTP. So you can take any name also, no problem. But this is the module, you have to use the same name as it is. So this is a variable name. We can take A, B, C like that also, no problem. So through this HTTP, we can use the create server. Create server is a predefined method. So here we have to take the callback function. What is in the callback function? Itself it will be called, right? So function, we have here request as well as response. Now my intention is I'm not doing any request here. I want to show some response to the browser. So I want to do that one. So after showing the response, I want to close that one also. So if you want to close that response, we can go to the end also. Now I am using here response.end. That is like an optional thing. And whenever if you are doing some changes, machine should stop your server. Again, you can start your server. So now, see here, we are getting here welcome. Our server is started. So now we have. So like this, for each and every programming, you have to follow the same structure only. Just you can observe here, HTTP. So require. So what we are going to do here, HTTP module. So why you are taking this one? If you are running something in the browser screen, first should we have to go to the HTTP only. Then HTTP dot create server, we have to go to the function. So you can use the request comma response. So request is nothing but if I'm giving something, we'll get the response. Now here I'm not doing any request here. I want only response only. I want to show something in the browser screen only. That's why response.write. You can take A comma B also, no problem. So just for meaningful, I'm going to consider request and response. If you are using A should be request, B in the sense, B should be response. So we have to use the response.write, and you can use here response.end. So we have to listen some port number. You no need to do the 4000. You can do 5000, 6000 also, no problem. Just that is the indication of the port number. This is about how we are going to work with basic implementation in real-time scenario. So this is here 4000 is the port number, and here byte is nothing but predefined function. If you want to show something in the browser screen, you can. So after showing that one, I want to stop that one. You can do the response.end. You can use that one. So this is about how we are going to work with the things in real-time scenario. So what is meant by anonymous function? Anonymous function in the sense the function does not have any name now. So that is called anonymous function. Here we can use the anonymous functions as well as callback functions also we have to use. Now what is this function? This is callback function now. So similar, we can take the anonymous functions also if you are required. For example, so this one already we discussed, again I'm going to revise. See here where greet equal to function. So what is a greet? Greet is a function. So the function does not have any name, that is called anonymous function. So now you can take here some print statement or whatever the logic you require, and you can call this one. Automatically what happened, you can call this function, you'll get the output is welcome to ELearn InfoTech. If you want to pass some parameter also, we can pass here some parameter. So that parameter also we can access. This is about how we are going to work with anonymous functions and callback function. These two things must and should here we have to use in the future concepts. So anonymous functions we can use, callback functions 100% we are using. Anonymous functions, some of the cases we are using and some of the cases we are not using, but anonymous functions must and should we can use. Okay. So now I want to display this one in the H1 tag format. What you are going to do? Simply you can write here H1 tag open and H1 tag should be closed. Save this one. So again, what you are going to do? Again, you have to restart your server. Otherwise, the changes it won't reflect. So now you can just refresh here. We have here the H1 tag also applied. So whenever if you are made some changes, must and should we have to do the changes and we have to stop your server, restart that one, then you can use. So instead of every time start and stop, we have the another method also. So nodemon is there. I will show you that nodemon also. If you are installed that nodemon, no need to do the again start and stop. Just you can refresh automatically, it will start and it will compile. That is nodemon. In future, we are going to install that nodemon also. This is about how we are going to work with things in real-time scenario. Clear? So like that, you can take the n number of things also and you can implement. So you can use the arrow functions also. You can use the regular functions also. For example, here only I want to use the arrow function. What is the syntax of the arrow function? You can use the direct so parenthesis along with part arrow. No? So if I'm using the arrow function, say this one and stop your server again, you start your server. Just go to the browser and check one. So is there any changes? No, right? So you can use, it depends upon the developer comfortable, you can use any type of functions also, that will be fine. So this is about how we are going to work with the anonymous functions or so callback functions or arrow functions we can use in the so Node.js. So clear not to know. So we'll discuss later this importing files, how we are going to import separate file into our file. We'll discuss later. For example, now I'm going to consider here some variable. So where a equal to, I'm going to write here ELearn. So this ELearn I want to access. Where I want to access in the sense, here I want to access. If I'm doing directly here A, what happened, we'll check. So now just you can observe here, go to the browser screen and check once, we are getting nothing but no need to write it directly also here. So you can take the variable declaration, you can assign and you can take that one, it will be works fine. So you can take the object format, you can take the array format. In future class, we have to discuss that concepts also. This is about how we are going to work with the things here. Understood now? So now, for example, here, whatever you require, you can write now. For example, I want to do here some statement that is A, we are writing ELearn. So now just to go to the inspect and go to here and open the body and check once. In the body tag, you can observe here, by default, what we have here, preserve formatting we are getting. Why you are using the preserve formatting in the sense, by default, whatever you given, it will display as it is. So by default, you will get the preserve formatting. I don't want preserve formatting. So I want inside the body only, direct, I want that message. At the time, what you are going to do. So for that purpose, we have to use the content type. Actually, we have to use the success code and we have to use the content type also. What is your content type? I want like a text slash HTML. Otherwise, content type text slash JSON format. So text slash plain. Like that, you can use the content type also. For that, you can use a success code also. That concept also I will show you. Just you can use. So we have to use the write head method. So you can observe write head success code. 200 is a success code. So for example, 404, 401, 403, that is a failure codes. Okay. So now here success code is there and content type. So what is your type of the content? Your content type is a text slash plain. Either it should be text or either it should be plain. Otherwise, I want to work with a HTML also. For example, now just you can observe here, I'm going to take here. So response dot, so write head. So 200 text slash HTML I'm using here. Save this one and again stop your server, server. So refresh it. So now see here inside the body directly we have. So there is no preserve formatting. Previously we have the preserve formatting. Why? Because it will be considered as a text only. By default, everything is considered as a text only. But here, whenever you are using HTML, it will be considered as a text slash HTML. It will be considered as a HTML. Previously, what happened? Text slash plain. It will be considered as a plain. If you are taking here JSON, we have to give here JSON format. So that JSON elements, how we are going to retrieve that one, everything we are going to discuss in the future classes. So up to now, everything is clear. What we did up to now, very basic thing. So just installation we did. So after installation, so we are running in the Perl, nothing but command prompt we are running. So I don't want to run the command prompt. Why? Because I want to implement the complete functionalities. So that's why what we are using here. So we have to use the editor to implement the code. Whenever if you want to run anything in the browser screen, what we are going to do, we have to import the module that is called HTTP module. We have so many modules here. So we have to import the Express.js also in future. We have to install that one, and we can call that one also. I will show you that one also later classes. And if you want to like third-party modules also, like we have the third-party modules also, we can install that one and we can import that one and we can use it. So currently I'm using only one module, that is HTTP module. After that, we have to create your server. So we have here, so callback function, it will allow two parameters mandatory, request and response. Whenever if you are giving the request, you will get the response. Here, my target is just I want to show something to the browser screen now. So that's why always we have to go to the response.write. No need to write head. This is a not mandatory thing. But if you are facing that type of issues, already showed in the console area now. So what happened? It is showing the present formatting type. I don't want that one. So that's why response.write head. So here 200 is a success code. We have another things also. 404, nothing but page not found. 403. So forbidden error. So we have the error codes, that one. So always we can go do the 200, that is success code. Content type always should be like a text slash plain or text hyphen. So sorry, text slash HTML, text slash JSON format. Like that we have to consider. Then which one you want to display, we can write that one. Then you can close that one. If I'm not using this one, so it will take more loading time. Just you can observe here. Sorry, again I'm going to restart my server. Then you can observe here. See here, it better will take in the new terminal, sorry, new tab, so that you will get some clarity. Now see here, still it is loading also. That means it will take too much time. Okay, to avoid that situation, what you are going to do, we can do here response.write. So now I'm going to restart my server. Just refresh, we are getting. So this is about how we are going to create the basic implementation, and what is write head, what is create server, and what is HTTP module, what is request and response, and the write function, end, and what is listen. Everything is clear now. Okay, this is a very basic implementation. So actually, in real-time projects, we are not going to use the Node.js purely. So why? Because we have the framework for this Node.js, we have the framework called Express.js. So for real-time projects, always we have to prefer the Express.js only. So no need to do more Node.js implementations in real time. Why? Because here you have to do each and everything manually only. So there is a lengthy process. So, but we have to learn all these concepts also. We'll discuss everything, then we can move to the Express. But you have to remember, for real-time projects, always we can go to the Express.js only, not Node.js. Okay, so clear now? So tomorrow we'll show you how we are going to work with the Postman. Actually, I will show you how we are going to use the complete API implementation, the Postman. We have the Postman tool. So actually in the backend, so what they are going to do in the sense, they can check everything in the Postman only. So they are not going to depend upon the front end. In case I know only the backend, what we are going to do, actually I have to interact with the front end guys. So once how the output will be look like, I have to check with that one, you know. So but I don't want that one. I want to implement everything in the backend, and I want to check the outputs also in the Postman only. I will show you that Postman also tomorrow. Okay. So today concept is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about Priyanka?
Yes, sir.